All right, so the reason I'm on this side, I don't want to end up blocking Homeboy's little doll right here. Hey,
Hey, what's up, guys? Rick here. So
what's up, guys? Rev's there.
today we're going to talk about the continued destruction of SweetBaby Inc.
Finally.
2024 has been a very rough year for this woke consulting firm.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, they got discovered back in February when one of its employees started a harassment campaign against a then very small Steam group
Cabrutus.
called SweetBaby Inc. Detected.
Mm-hmm.
We all know
Mm-hmm.
how that story played out. It had the Streisand effect, it blew up the group, and then people started looking at this SweetBaby Inc. company and looking at their website and seeing their client list and their agenda and some of the games they've worked on. And as a result, anyone associated with SweetBaby has had a very rough year. People are
Oh, God.
rejecting anything they're associated with because people are concerned about what kind of woke DEI garbage is going to end up in those products if they
Something that I thought was pretty interesting. It's as simple as this, and I feel like everyone has said it. So I feel like maybe if somebody else says it, maybe they'll understand. Maybe they'll understand. So gamers do this thing called voicing their opinions, right? And if game devs were to look at the gamer's opinion and realize what they wanted, they could just put that in the game and make money and make a lot of it. And it's really weird that they don't seem to do that. And they go, it seems like they want to do everything but make the games that people want to have. I don't understand it. I don't know why, but they do. And it's annoying.
work with SweetBaby. This company has essentially become a death mark. Nobody wants to be publicly associated with SweetBaby, and now SweetBaby finds
They're
itself
like game development prostitutes, bro. Like, you don't. I'm not going to say we work with Sweet Baby, but you know what happened. Like, like, hey, Ubisoft, come work with us. And they're like, well, yeah, don't say anything publicly, but we will. Like, that's fucking ridiculous, bro. The fact that you have to do that is insane to me. Like, if you have to go in secret to do something, chances are you probably shouldn't be doing it. That is ridiculous. And I hope somebody at some point goes through every single game. From like the first time we saw Sweet Baby Inc., the games that they said that they've worked on and all that good stuff, and then seeing how much money they lost, except for Spider-Man 2, because that game actually was pretty nice.
in a tough position where they have to rebrand in a way that deals with their negative reputation among gamers. And they're doing just that. So essentially, SweetBaby nuked their own website
Oh
and
God.
recreated it in a way that I believe is trying to continue pushing its woke agenda, but doing it behind the scenes and also doing so while continuing to work with their current clients, but doing so in a very private way. So what happened? Well, if you had an old link to the website and you use it, you're brought to this page. Essentially an error 404 type message saying this page does not seem to exist. Now, they have restructured their website, and as someone who has been on this website a lot of times
Jesus.
this year, to do research for videos, I can tell you a lot of changes did occur, and I think they are very important to look at. So here is the new website. You can see they have the same old hypnotic design that's very strange, and their strange mascot is still there, but there are some changes, beginning with their top section here, the About section, where it says, SweetBaby Inc. is an award-winning team of writers and narrative designers.
By award winning, do you mean the game won an award and then you're just crediting that to you guys? Because, like, that's kind of lame, not gonna lie to you. You didn't really do shit. You gotta just, well, allegedly blackmailing people. I mean, it wasn't really that for long, but, like, blackmailing people into working for you.
Who
Or
help
working
make
with you, my
stories
bad.
better. With over 30 games shipped from AAA, indie, and solo developers, we are not just contractors, we are storytellers who can take your project to the next level. So this is very interesting. If you know anything about SweetBaby, you're probably surprised to see not a single mention of diversity, inclusion, equity, nothing like that. If you looked at this message from their About section, you would just think they're narrative consultants. They're just helping people write better stories. It has nothing to do with DEI. Now, of course, we have some archives of their
Real quick, I might, probably because I don't know, but, like, don't they hire people to write stories? Or they do that, right? Because I was under the impression that you already had a story in mind, and then you kind of just went with that. So I don't know why you would hire somebody else to do that to a story that you already had. I don't know how games are made, but whatever. I would think you would have a story already planned out, and then you make a game based around it, right? Or no? Fuck, fine, I did.
former website. This is their previous About section that says this. Founded in 2018, SweetBaby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. So you see this mention of empathetic stories, diversifying, and also more inclusion, and all of that stuff has been ripped from the current About section.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, sorry for pausing so much, but like maybe it's me. Couldn't you just write your own story? Like, I don't know why you would have to take someone else's story and then do that to it. Couldn't you just write your own story and then go from there? That's what I would have done. But, okay, whatever. Okay.
Now, there's a few small sections underneath this, beginning with script writing. So they say, we work within scope to cover all of your script writing needs, from cinematics and dialogue to naming 500 pieces of armor. We know every word counts. Again, very generic. Nothing about DEI in this one either. Here's the next section. Consultation. No matter the stage of production, we can strengthen story pitches, world building and character development needs, and other narrative design demands. Once again, very generic. Here we have the first one that looks anything like DEI or something you...
Bro, if y'all heard about this, right? Alan Wake 2 and how it just didn't break even, and the people who made the game so far haven't made a single dollar off of the game because it didn't sell enough, and they still have to give back to... Who is it? Was it Epic? Was it Epic Games that they had to pay for? Well, either way, it was hilarious. And apparently this game was okay. The thing is, I never even heard of Alan Wake 1, so I didn't know there was an Alan Wake 2.
Would expect from SweetBaby. It's their authenticity and sensitivity section, saying, we approach sensitivity by working with your existing narrative and documentation to bring out its natural authenticity and emotional resonance. We don't look for red flags, we highlight green ones. So this is interesting too. So even in a section where they're talking about authenticity and sensitivity, they're not saying we're going to point to your red flags and make you change things. They're just going to highlight the ones they think are already good, which is a much more passive approach than you would expect from SweetBaby, at least, you know, from what they're telling you publicly right now.
Something else I've kind of just wondered, what gives them credibility to do any of this? Because like it seems like they just kind of showed up and just started doing shit, but like who were the first people to do this and why?
Now the next section is another one that has changed in ways that I think are interesting and not too impactful, but it's worth mentioning. So the featured projects, it's the games they've worked on. You see the classics they've always listed, like God of War, Ragnarok, Sable, so on and so forth.
It's like, never heard of it, never heard of it. This game was garbage, and it's dying. I kind of forgot this existed.
They constantly change this list, and the only one I think is interesting to see pop back up is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, like...
They actually removed this for many months leading up until now, but it looks like they brought it back onto this public list of their projects.
They shouldn't.
And that also further confirms the lies of a former Rocksteady developer who claimed that SweetBaby had no involvement, which there's been a lot of evidence out there to prove otherwise, and this just further confirms...
Oh, it even says what they worked on. That's crazy. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be, but okay.
He was lying through his teeth when he made that statement, since they brought it back once again.
Just
now,
damage
this
control.
is the biggest change, or lack thereof in a sense. There's nothing after this section. We go right to the outreach and workshops. Now, like I said, I've been on this website many times to research for videos. The next section that came was their client list, and I think that was the most important tool for tracking SweetBaby's involvement. If you see a company like Ubisoft on that list, you're going to be checking their games to see in the credits and throughout posts on social media if they're involved with SweetBaby. That client list is gone, and I think that is a very significant thing, and a lot of people are sharing some archive versions. I think this is the most complete list.
Heard it. Huh, Santa Monica, Valve. Yeah, so there's like a couple on here that I've heard of, and the rest of them never once heard of.
List I've seen because, again, like the game list, some companies like Square Enix, for example, have removed themselves from this list over the months, but this one seems to be the most complete and oldest list, and you can see all the usual suspects. especially those from companies that had a rough 2024 due to their connection with SweetBaby. You see Ubisoft, Xbox Game Studios, you see Warner Bros., Square Enix, Wizards of the Coast,
Yep.
Remedy, Glitch, so on and so forth, okay? And this list, like I said, very important, and I think it says a lot that they have removed this list. And what I mean is, I think they're not trying to rebrand. I think they're trying to go underground. I think they're trying to cool off on the DEI-related language in their website, and they're trying to get rid of the client list, and they're hoping you just forget what their entire agenda has been up until now.
See, there's that, but also, I feel like he said it in another video. I wouldn't be surprised if most of these companies were like, yeah, I see kind of what's happening with you guys. So, like, take us off your website now. Like yesterday. Expeditiously. Get us off. Do I blame them? Not in the slightest. I don't want to work with these niggas anyway. That's disgusting.
And also the people they have worked with. I think this is something that was probably demanded upon them, and also something in their own interest, because clients on this list were getting blasted. It's not good to be associated with SweetBaby, and it's also probably hurting the opportunities for SweetBaby because people don't want to be publicly associated with them.
Yeah.
And now they're hiding this client list, and I'm really trying to stress that I think they're still working with the majority, if not all, of these clients from the original list. I don't think these companies are removing themselves because they're separating themselves publicly from SweetBaby. I think they're doing it because they just don't want that association to be public. And now,
I was like, I feel, yeah, probably is like that, but also what I wouldn't be surprised of, say Ubisoft all of a sudden puts out a game, and no DEI, none of that, no one has said anything about that, and then the game still looks like it was made from Ubisoft. The game's gonna get shit on for that, and then the first day, people are gonna get it. The first day, they're gonna play through it, and they're gonna realize it's bad. And then now, because of SweetBaby and DEI just in general, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, I bet you, SweetBaby was on this bitch." And I wouldn't put it past that gamer to go through the credits or go through the game files to see if they could find their name put in there at all in any way, shape, or form. I can totally see that. But, who knows?
now with the updated website, that section is completely gone, and I think it just serves that underground attempt they're trying to do with their agenda. So the next section is another one that has changed very significantly, and that is the outreach and workshops. You can see here it says, our experienced team of writers and narrative designers are ready and available to provide workshops, talks, and general insight to your team. Let us show you how we dig beneath the narrative surface. Again, super generic language. They just sound like a narrative guidance consultation type organization. However, if you look at their old outreach statement here, it's very different. The old website said this: new and marginalized talent can change this industry if given the proper support. We want to provide this through our outreach programs. Now, this language sounds much more like SweetBaby, and I think it's really important because this is language that mirrors the main message of Kim Bel-Air, their CEO, okay? There's a lot to say about Kim. She's the one responsible for many infamous quotes.
If you've heard it once, you'll hear it again. If this is what you see when you go to someone's profile, chances are they're dumb. Like, not even like, oh yeah, kind of dumb, whatever. No, dumb, monstrously dumb. That's all that is, right there. That's so unfortunate. Couldn't be me though.
It's like the one where she said that you should go and terrify your bosses with the threat of cancel culture.
Oh yeah,
like that if they don't work.
I was talking about that earlier.
Consultation groups like SweetBaby. But there's another very interesting quote that people have dug up recently. This is a 1-minute clip that she uses to express kind of the hiring process at SweetBaby, and it greatly reflects.
Hold on. Is that a white man right here? Is that a white man? Is that a white male? Wow, not very progressive, are we?
Outreach type thing with their old message, because in this she will state that clearly to Kim, the most important thing in the hiring process is the color of your skin and your background, not your writing skills, which is a big contradiction to what they're trying to do with the updated website that's all about narrative consultation and improving the writing of your story. And in this clip, she's saying the background and experience of the employee is more important than their writing skills because they need to be able to relate and express kind of the cultural importance of whatever they're working on.
My answer was like, well, what happened to sourcing Black writers for something like this? And the answer that was given to me was just like, well, we met some great Black writers, but they didn't have the experience. They had all the talent, but not the experience in games. And so what I said was, well, would it be possible if, since we have the experience in games, could we take on some writers as subcontractors? Because essentially, what the client is looking for is authentic and representational work, and what these
Didn't all these games suck? I know this one did, but I'm pretty sure these two games sucked ass too. Huh? I don't know.
writers are looking for is experience on a job, and that's something I think we can provide. And so we began, once we had that kind of extra space and those extra contracts, to start sharing I say quote unquote wealth, because it was, we were still working on smaller contracts at the time, but we started bringing in folks who deserved a shot at it and who otherwise the studios might not bring in, but who assumes that
So pretty much what you're saying is these people did not have the skill to do this. So those places were not willing to hire them. Crazy. That's crazy how that works. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen to me here, fellas. Gamers, if I may. As a black person myself, because apparently that matters when you're talking about this type of shit to this type of people, right? If I start a when I start a game studio, I'm only hiring people that know what the fuck they're doing. Plain and simple. So, if you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, when I'm making a game, if you come to me and tell me that I want to work for you, first off, cool, that's awesome. I'm glad to have you on the team. But before you're officially a part of the team, why should I hire you? That's when you give me, get this, your resume. Oh, when you give me your resume, I'm gonna look over it, gonna see what's here, gonna see if you have any experience in the industry. And if you don't, do you have any credible sources, citations, or people that could speak on your behalf? Because maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have a lot of experience, right? Maybe you don't have a lot of experience in this field. I might have to overlook that depending on how you do the interview, right? But you might not have the experience, but you've been to college or you've worked on a bunch of smaller indie games that, you have made yourself, your friends have made yourself, stuff like that. It's like, there you go. You have something. But let me tell you something. I'm never going to hire somebody that's like, hey, I am black. You're black. You should hire me. It's like, I mean, fair enough. I will hire you to, like, let's see here. What is it called? When you hire someone to do absolutely nothing. Oh yes, we're hiring you to be a customer because you're not fucking working here. That's actually insane. Simple as that. I don't know. I don't understand what this whole hiring based on race is. Every job that I've ever had, I've been hired because I could do the job. And if I couldn't do the job, for instance, like in the trucking industry, I had just got my license. I had 0 miles under my belt. Right? Zero miles under my belt driving an 18-wheeler. And, when you're working with that, sometimes the loads are like $2,000 next to nothing, but they don't want to lose that because they'll lose a customer and they can lose more money that way. But other times, the loads could be up to $2.3 to $3.5 million. And you want to entrust that into someone who has 0 miles under their belt? No, absolutely not. But you want to know what I did do, right? I showed them that I had that I can do this. I just got my license. The people that trained me on what to do also worked for that company. And not only did I impress the trainers, the person, when I did the interview, I impressed them. And then we went outside. Not only did we do a road test, we also did an inspection test. And an inspection test for 18-wheelers, it's like over 120 something points that you have to go over. You have to hit all of them every time. And no mistakes, no nothing. And I did that first time flawlessly, no problem. Which showed them, yes, I know what the fuck I'm doing. You just got to give me a chance. And I've proven to you through the road test that I can drive safely on the road with your $200,000 to $500,000 machine, and that does not include the trailer. These are things you have to do. You can't just be like, you're black, I'm black, let me hire you. That's ridiculous. but I've been ranting too long.
The games industry is a meritocracy. It assumes that when you have a marginalized writer coming with a portfolio, what they need is a portfolio review to make sure their portfolio is good. But what happens when we assume instead that it's not a meritocracy? That there is racism, that there is sexism, that there is homophobia, there's transphobia.
Just to bring this
I
home
mean,
once
all
again,
right,
it
I
seems
guess.
very clear that in the hiring process, Kim has always prioritized people's skin color and their background over their actual skills. And now that they're trying to rebrand into this
Motherfucker, I swear, yeah, I hate that shit so goddamn much. Everyone that's hired me, every interview I've ever been on with it and gotten the job has been like one or two white people interviewing me at the exact same time. And never once, even the jobs that I wanted and didn't get, never once did I think to myself, they did it because they were racist. That's just not how that works. Maybe it's because I'm blue collar and I don't understand how these corpo borpa businesses are. But I could tell you one thing, and I could tell you it for sure. That just doesn't happen nearly as much as you think it does. And I'd almost even go out on a limb. I've got to go out on a limb here and say 99% of the time, that's just not how that works. But whatever. Fucking God, I hate these people, bro. Make everything difficult for everyone else.
narrative consulting firm that doesn't have this blatant secondary agenda. Why would you think that these people are the most qualified? If you're trying to work with SweetBaby or they're approaching you, wouldn't you be concerned about the qualifications of some of their current employees who were likely hired simply because of the color of their skin and not their actual abilities? If this company is claiming that they are strictly about helping with the writing process and the story, then why are those values they used to highlight, why would those be so important in that process? But there's some other discoveries to be made here. One last one, very interesting. If you can see it down here, 2024 SweetBaby Inc. designed by Luda Laika. So Smash JT in his coverage of this related story found a very interesting...
Design for feminist inquiry. That sounds... Oh, that seems a little, Yee. I don't know if I'd say that out loud, let alone type it.
Discovery about this particular studio. So this is kind of their statement generally about their business, that they design for feminists and queers, which is a very on par thing for SweetBaby hiring a...
That doesn't sound weird, right? Like, tell me that doesn't sound weird. That sounds weird as hell, right? Like, just read that. Like, read that, right? Let's forget for a second they just got rid of Anne, right? They make designs for feminists. They make designs for queers. That just sounds... that just sounds pretty fucking bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Studio here that only seems to work with feminists and queer people. But anyways, you go down here, there's some interesting stuff about this studio. They actually quit Twitter. They closed their official Twitter account. And the reason they did this is because they believe that Elon Musk condemning the use of the term cisgender was Musk's way of dismissing the experiences of trans and gender diverse individuals, implying that being cis is superior and natural. Yep, seems like somebody that SweetBaby would work with. But that's really where we're at with this entire situation. A rebrand of sorts for SweetBaby. And I think the objective here is very clear. To tone down the language, try to repair the reputation of SweetBaby publicly, but in private, continue working on their DEI-related agenda and continue working with the same companies they have been for many years now, and the same companies that are reeling right now because of their connection to SweetBaby. So don't think this is
they're Canadians. Surprise.
ultimate victory, or that SweetBaby is, walking away from DEI with its tail between its legs. I think this is just a simple new strategy where they're trying to hide everything, just like they're hiding on social media. Everyone, including the main account for SweetBaby, everyone associated with this company is private. They do not want you to have any public engagement with them. They're not going to talk to you. They don't even want you seeing what they're doing. So why would you expect anything to be different on their official website? But for now, it's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
They're dying, and I'm perfectly okay with it.
The discourse is BS. Shut.
They're dying.